All right, back on trail. The last 2 days, I was in a little town called Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Weird name, but really nice place. Stayed with this lovely trail angel named Susan. And then today hitched back up here, and my last hitch was in like a 1967 Volkswagen Beetle, like a tiny one where you're like touching elbows pretty much, just room for two of you, but it was awesome, it was great. And then get up here, and as you see, there's a little bit of snow on everything, but it's only like an inch. So I think it'll be gone by tomorrow or the next day. This section is 108.5 miles until the next paved road. And where I started right at the road, there's 48 miles of dry stretch with no water. And so that's where I put one of the water caches. So I have to go 25 miles before I get to that first water, and then another 23 after that. I'm probably not going to make it there today. I think my backpack's like 40 pounds because it's 19, and then there's 10 more pounds of food, and then 11 pounds of water right now, and that should last me until the first water cache. But I'm excited to be back out here. I got out of the rain, escaped the weather, and then come back up here, and it's like beautiful and sunny. There's not supposed to be any wind for the next few days, so I'm excited to be back out here. Highlight of my day. Trying to put my hard socks on. To the first water cache. This is the water up here like a week ago. It's mostly solid, frozen. But luckily there's a few other things that are also melted just a little bit. Like I'm not going to take that one, but those all have a little bit of water. So I'm just going to try to scavenge all the wet water. And even more exciting, the root beer is still here. I don't really ever drink soda, but I haven't had root beer in a few years, I think. So I'm definitely going to drink this. I'm really excited. Not the most glamorous part of the trail. It's just 2.5 miles walking next to the fence. I was hiking and I thought I saw some elk up ahead, and I thought I was going to be able to get close to them, and that'd be exciting because I haven't really seen any wildlife yet. And so I dipped down, and then when I come over the hill, I thought they'd be like right there, but they must have seen me because they took off. They're no longer here. Now they're way over there. There's 3 little donkeys over there. Saw some elk earlier today and some birds, getting into some wildlife. Ooh. There we go. Nice big pond. There we go. Oh, try not to stir it up and get it muddy like that. Getting some water. All right, it looks pretty brown. Let's see how it filters. All right, filters significantly less brown. Tastes okay. Has a flavor. But yeah, better than plastic jug for sure. This water source, nice and green, kind of gives you a Mountain Dew vibe if you hold it up to the light just right. Seems pretty. This one filters a lot more clear than the brown one. Still has a tiny tint of green. Tastes better, almost no taste. This one's good. It filtered a little bit slower, a little bit harder, but it's good. It's good water. So as we know, I'm on my way to Canada. Started at Mexico, and you would think that, you just kind of go straight up north, but not always the case. Here's the map. I'm this little blue dot right here. And starting about a day and a half ago, I started going directly west. Not making a ton of northern progress, just going directly west. And if that's not cool enough, starting now, I'm actually going to go southwest for about another day, southwest, before I angle back and go north. And I'm starting to think maybe this wasn't the most efficient way to get to Canada. Like maybe I could have just gotten a ticket and flown or drove. I thought this would be the easiest way, but it might not be. All right, third water source of the day. I think third time's the charm. Look at this, nice, clear. I would go swimming in this if it was not frowned upon. Look at how clear that is. Oof, it's gonna be nice. The taste test. Actually, that one's a little bit weird. I mean, still good. Still good. Not as good as the second one, but way clear, way easier to filter. Still delicious. I think before starting the CDT, I did a little bit of research, and everybody talks about how much road walking there is. And there's the one section on the highway that was like 13 miles. That sucked. Obviously, that's not that cool. But most of the road walking is just these like dirt roads in the middle of nowhere that probably get used like twice a year, and you're not going to see anybody. It's not like people are driving by and leaving clouds of smoke or anything. And I actually kind of like it because when you don't have one of those, sometimes there's no trail. Like the last 2 mornings I woke up and I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's crush some miles. Let's go fast. Let's do some hiking. And then like the first 5 miles is me just going super slow, being like, all right, where's the trail? Is this the trail? Is that the trail? Oh, there's a cairn. And then I like take out my phone and I look and I go, oh, I'm not supposed to be on this hill. I'm supposed to be on that hill. And so then I have to go like back down and up. And it's hiking, but it's also just like a lot of like route finding and other things. And then sometimes you get to one of those dirt roads and it's like, oh, you can just hike and you can not like completely turn off your brain, but I can listen to an audiobook or like just think or like get in the flow state and zone out for a little bit. And that's actually really nice. Sometimes it's good to do that and go a little bit faster. But I think just the one thing I have to accept is that the CDT is not going to be like just the groomed path where you can just walk super fast. Like most of what I did today is just like there's cairns every so often and you can see, and like, or maybe you're on a ridge and you know you're just going on the ridge, but there's no trail. So it's like uneven ground with grass and rocks and stuff. So you're still looking at your feet most of the time. And it's not hard, but today was like a good day overall. I decided to stop before the sun went down, which is nice. First time in a few days that I did that. A little bit more relaxing. Good way to start the day. Nice little sunrise we got going on. Yesterday at the end of the day, there was a big uphill. And I thought about having this soda that I found as Trail Magic. And then I checked on it and it had caffeine. And I was like, I don't have caffeine right before I try to fall asleep. I don't ever have caffeine, so it'd probably not be great. So I think I'm going to have it right now. Dr. Thunder, 42 milligrams of caffeine. I don't really know how much that is, but it's a good way to start the day. Get me pumped for the rest of this uphill. I think the storm that came through and dropped some snow was 3 nights ago. And since then, most of it has melted. But it was like high in the 30 the last 2 days. And so I'd start out with my gloves, but then also my sleep socks on as mittens. And I'd have 2 hats and I'd have every layer on when I started. And today, I only got 1 hat on, got my thin mittens. Don't have all my layers. It's kind of nice. I think highs are back into the 50s today, which is nice. I can already like feel the warmth of the sun and it's just not freezing. And so that's kind of a good way to start the day. You know, it's still cold, but it's going to warm up. Whew. I pretty much never have caffeine. Like I don't ever have coffee. I avoid sodas with caffeine. I don't ever have soda pretty much. And so I had that soda this morning. I had 42 milligrams of caffeine, and I don't know how much that is. Like, is that more than a cup of coffee? Is that less than a cup of coffee? I have no idea. But I grabbed it without thinking about it and then carried it for like a day. And then I was like, well, I might as well drink it. Drank it this morning and then packed up the tent and started going. And I got less than half a mile. This is so dumb. This is so silly. Got less than half a mile and then started kind of getting like lightheaded and seeing spots, and then started getting really jittery and had to stop and sit down. And I don't have any water, so I'm trying to eat, and I'm just like dry scooping my oatmeal mixture into my mouth to calm down. yeah, I don't know. I don't know how people drink caffeine. This is crazy. This is wild. So I thought it would speed me up, but it's definitely slowed me down this morning. It's funny. It's funny, funny, funny. Welcome to episode Dan is out of water every single day again. Um, Last night I was just really thirsty. I thought I had enough water, but I was pretty thirsty, so I just kept drinking water. And I saved a little bit. I saved like half a liter for this morning and then drank it. And then the first water source I got to did not have water, which I was counting on. And so it's either 2 miles until water or 10 miles. Got a good view, and I got some deer creeping up. What you doing? So just a good view. Look at that. This is the water source at 2.5 miles. It's dry. So I got about 7 more and I'll reach one of the water caches that I set down. So it's a good thing I set that down. But if any time in the last 2 weeks someone saw it and was like, oh, this is garbage and took care of it, then we'll see what happens when I get there. Well, what have we here? Looks like we found ourselves a little puddle. Maybe another one right there. Dang, that's all the water I need for the day. It's gonna be 7 more miles, but I'm good. I'm gonna drink all of this. I'm gonna drink this whole puddle. All right, big water source moment. Drove by here when I was planting waters 2 weeks ago. And this was frozen, I know that. But in here, the water was not frozen. Will it be frozen today? No worries, no worries, no worries. Ooh, I think it's liquid. I think we got water. I think we got water today. Good morning. Feeling good. Have a nice view. I did get a little bit of service, and so I was able to reconnect to Spotify. For some reason, it like wouldn't load, and this happened a few times where I'm in the middle of nowhere and it doesn't load, and then it won't open back up until I have service, usually when I get to town. And so I've just been like 4 days with no music. Been listening to a lot of audiobooks and stuff like that, which is good, but just sometimes you want music, you know? And yeah, I've been having a good morning, walking through snow, but I'm at 9,000 feet, and so it's still like frozen and fluffy. And so my feet aren't getting wet. I'm either walking on top of it or it's just like the fluffiest snow. And now that I have music, stoked, having a great time. So I know I complain about the trail being like barely visible a lot in this section, and I'm just constantly pulling out my phone to make sure I'm on the trail. Every like 20 minutes I'll come across like a marker or a little cairn, but check this one out. Boom, that's a big cairn. Shout out to whoever made this. Thank you for creating this beacon. Confident I'm on the trail right now. Thank you. All right. I'm up on like the third high point of the section. There's 3 of them and they're all like pretty similar. And the first 2 were covered in trees. And this one also covered in trees. There's like a view in one direction. But one of my favorite things, I think you know, is like getting to the top and being able to see where I was and stuff like that. And for this section, I've been doing like 3,000 or 4,000 feet of elevation gain and loss a day, which is quite a bit. That's like serious mountain elevation. And nothing is above tree line. So even when I get to the top of the peaks, there's still trees everywhere. And it kind of sucks because, like, you know, over there behind that tree, like that's where I started out this morning. That's another high point. And that area kind of sucked because there's no trail. And down there in the valley, you can see a little bit. It's like, oh, I wish I could see that. That part kind of sucked because there was no water. And then past that, there's a mountain somewhere, and it's like, oh, I wish I could see that. Maybe you can see that. There's like mountains through the trees right there. It's like, oh, I wish I could see that. That area kind of sucks. There were a ton of thorns, you know?
And I just wish I could point all that out and enjoy it more from a distance. It's like I went through all of that.
All right, follow with me on this thought experiment, if you will. All right, if you have a straw and you bend it and put both ends of the straw in your mouth, and then you try to suck in, nothing happens because you have both sides of the straw, right? But if you poke a bunch of holes in the side of the straw, when you try to suck in, you'll be pulling through the little holes. That's a perfect way to make a filter because the ends of the straw are big and the tube's big, but there's a lot more surface area on the sides of the straw for a bunch of tiny holes. And that's how our filters work. And so the holes are big enough for water, but too small for bacteria. And so the water goes in, and then once it's in the straw, it's just like a highway, it comes into your mouth. And so instead of one straw, it's just like hundreds of little straws. And so that's the filters we have. So here's mine right here. This is the side you drink out of. And you can see the ends of the straws, right? And then we have the other side. And this is supposed to be the sides of the straws. And you can see them folded over right there. But this happened today. And it was just like loose in there, and I pulled it out, which means one of the straws broke. And I think that means like it's like you have a ton of those filter straws in your mouth, and then you just have one regular straw. So I'm not drinking just like straight cow water. Like you've seen some of the water I've been drinking. It's not great. I haven't been drinking it straight, but I've been drinking like maybe 1% cow water. I don't know if this is fatal. Sometimes Giardia and things take like 2 weeks to manifest. And so I don't know how long this straw has been broken. I don't know if it's like a big enough issue that it's just letting all the bacteria through. But yeah, I guess I'll keep in touch and we'll find out if I shit my pants or not. There is a funny saying that's like you're not a true thru hiker until you shit your pants. And I haven't done that yet. But this could be the start of it, you know? So we'll see. Check back in. All right, just finished the section. Got to the road. I already hitched a little bit because the car picked me up right away. But overall, good. I know I complained a little bit, but I don't think I would tell anybody like, oh my God, you gotta do it. It was really cool. Some good sights and stuff like that. Some good hiking, a lot of elevation gain. But I think if you're with people and the weather's good, the Gila alternate would be good for its novelty. It'd probably be better. Probably be more fun. I don't know. My hiker hunger kicked in and I ran out of food, so I'm excited to get to town. And I wish I could say like, oh yeah, this is what I'm craving. I'm like, when I get into town, I'm gonna have this, but I'm going into this tiny town that I don't know if they have anything. So I'm just excited to get back to the van. I think it's been almost 2 weeks since I left it there, and I hope everything's good. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna eat a lot and then get back out here. Just got back to the van. Ate a snack, unpacked the things, did all the stuff, and then went to go start it. And of course it's dead. And I should have unplugged the battery before leaving because I knew it'd be like 2 weeks, but it's a brand new battery. I thought it'd be fine. Everything was turned off. I don't know. I guess this is just don't bring a vehicle through hiking. Just hike like normal people do. But I know.